Hello fellow hobbyists. I bought a bunch of Dspiae products here for the various stuff on my channel, and I bought this UV light curing glue. And my theory is the glue that they use on these 1/64 scale resin models might be the UV stuff. I could be wrong. We're gonna find out. Excuse me. This has a printing of 2022-11/20. I assume that's the manufacturing date. Or would it, I mean, it can't expire right now, right? It's a chemical. Alright, some legalese here. Doesn't seem to have any instructions, though. We got 20 grams of this stuff in here. Same thing on this box. Although here it does say curing time and result depends on actual energy from light source. Touch dry time around 1 minute. Okay, so you might have to hold something in place for 1 minute. Alright, don't eat this stuff. In particular, you want to use UV rays between 2 and 400 nanometers. And you want to store it in a cool, dry place. Okay, let's see if there's anything else in this box. Pretty fancy packaging. It looks like makeup packaging or something. There's a green rose thing. It's also completely transparent. So again, that might be the same stuff that the resin models are using. So, alright. What do we have? Oh, it came with a flashlight. I mean, a UV light. I didn't expect that. Mini UV torchlight. Let's see what it says here. Not much. I assume it takes watch batteries. I don't really like these kind of things because then you have to buy a bunch of watch batteries. But we might as well take a look here. The back end unscrews, and yes, there's there's 4 heat shrink together. What size are these? What does that say? LR41s. That's a pretty common watch battery thing, but well, you know, we'll try it with this one because that's the intended purpose. But I find that UV lights are great and all, but a UV laser is far more powerful. So this is an AliExpress special here. I just wrote UV on it, and so it's just a little clicky. And this one runs off a AA, and you'll see here, yeah, there's a little UV. I forget what nanometer it is, but it's somewhere in the range of this. I use it for my 3D printer stuff sometimes, but later on I decided to just buy a UV laser, so that's really concentrating the light. This is another AliExpress one, and you can see all the 3D printer resin. What is this thing powered by? I forget. This is powered by a AAA, 2 AAAs. So obviously that's a lot easier to source than a bunch of watch batteries, and it should last longer. So anything with UV will work. You know what? Maybe we should test the 3, actually, time-wise. So we'll do that before we even get into the model, because I want to use the thing that cures that thing the fastest, so I don't have to touch it or run the risk of it smearing. So we do have a bunch of plastic tips here to get really fine drippings out of it. I think they're all identical as far as the tube size goes. There's no instructions on the bottle itself. Yeah, it's interesting. So this here, let me get a piece of scrap. I wonder if it's open already, or if there's like a foil seal. Oh, it's already open, so be mindful of that. You know what, hold on. We're going to do a test of these 3, right? I gotta go get some sunglasses. Okay, I'm back, and let's try to put one of these nozzles on. It's a really tight fit, I guess, to keep liquid from seeping out that cap. But alright, so I wrote on a piece of cardboard. We're going to use the Dspiae, the regular UV light, and the laser one. I'm going to try to smear out the same amount of stuff, and we'll just So this being the reference point, this little thing here. Yeah, you can get a pretty fine point there. Okay. I'm not sure if the camera's even picking this up because it's clear. Maybe now? Hopefully. I guess we'll do this laser one right here. So roughly, you know, equal squares of this resin or glue. Alright, so the little flexy white tips are pretty good for fine applications. Alright, boy, how to do this. This stuff might cure fairly fast, so where's the Dspiae light? So the way we'll test is I'm going to try to streak it. Obviously it'll streak right now because it's wet. And actually I have a stopwatch. So maybe we'll do like 5 seconds. And we'll hold it as close without it popping off. Oh, I see, there's a... Okay, there is... You notice this light is very purple? Alright, start. We'll go to 5. So I hit this flashlight first. Let's see if it streaks. I think it's cured. Yeah. That thing is, well, no, maybe up there it didn't. But this may bubble. There's no liquid whatsoever. So 5 seconds and that thing worked. You'll notice this AliExpress light, though. It's not purple. It's, hold on. To give it a fair test, here's a brand new battery, alkaline. Let's see if the color changes with the fresh battery. No, it doesn't. It's kind of like a green light. Hopefully you can see that over there. Alright, let's reset this. And again, we'll do 5 seconds. Alright. Yeah, this is fully cured also. So this stuff cures in no time. 5 seconds. Less than 5 seconds. And even though this is a different light, let me shine both of these next to each other. Hold on, this is probably in the wrong location. Right? This one is clearly, well, on the paper it's more blue. They're actually kind of similar on the paper. But for some reason on black, this black is absorbing this flashlight, but not this one. Which makes me think this might even be brighter. Okay, so equal. In this one, it's a laser. I'm not even going to time it. I'm going to do a much shorter time period. So right now it is wet. You can see it streak, right? I'm going to count to 2. 1 1000, 2 1000. Yeah, that's so no. That area is solidified, but let's do 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. Yeah, it's solidified. So, except no, not here. The issue with the laser, the spread just isn't wide. So, if it's smaller than that dot, then you won't have a problem. But if it's bigger than that dot, you're going to have to wave it around and cover more area. So if you're going to do large surfaces, this light that was included does actually a better job, you know, covering up a much wider surface. Alright, well, anyways, an interesting random test, but it turns out no matter what you get, it's going to work as long as it falls within that UV spectrum range. But just for ease of holding, I'm going to use the one Dspiae provided. So let's see if I destroy this model even further. So you can see how thin this window is. That's what makes it so easy to see inside the interior. But it popped loose because there's too much tension. So what I'm thinking the game plan is, you'll see, if I glue maybe on this side first, then I'll progressively glue to that side. If I glue right in the middle, I don't know. Well, it might still work. Nah, I'm not sure which side it's going to go to, so I think it'd be better if I tried to glue right here first and then there second. And then maybe it'll end up pushing everything flat. Yeah, so it's almost like this piece is too big and that's why it popped out. It might be a little bit too big for the recess that it's supposed to sit inside of. Okay, so the question is, can I apply this UV glue without destroying it? Probably yes, because it won't cure until I apply the light to it. So if I mess up, I should be able to wipe it off. Looking at the model. Do I put it on the ledge of the model or the window? That is the question. I think it should be on the ledge of the model, because if I put it on the window, there might be a pool of resin on the window. So I'm gonna just... Ooh, this is difficult. I might lose focus as well. Okay, so I just seeped out a bunch, obviously, but let's see if I can just wipe that extra off. The Q-tip. Oh, it took paint off, so that's a problem. Luckily it's a matte black car. Yeah, okay, that seems alright. So it's off that surface, but it should still be wet on that inside surface. So now, here's a different Q-tip. Let's do a test run here. Just seeing if any fluid comes out. Does not. Let me hit focus again for you guys. So I'm going to press this side in. Oh, here's the issue. Well, it might harden the stuff over there. I think I really need to press all of it against at once. I don't know if the light's getting past that black of the window. You know, the blackout is literally blocking a lot of view. So I think the laser will probably get through that paint of the blackout of the window. Nope. Do I have to hit it from the side, I wonder? I'm giving my fingertips a sunburn. So you definitely want to wear sunglasses with UV protection, because this light is just bouncing around and causing sun damage. Ah, that didn't work at all. It still seems like it's wet. Yeah, it's wet, which is good. The problem is I can't get the light to where it needs to be because the blackout of the window. This might be strange, but I'm going to really jam the laser up there and make that hold the plastic and then turn it on. No, there's just too much tension in this window. HPI model is the company that made this, HPI 64, and unfortunately it's poorly designed. I think I literally have to shave off plastic off the window so it can sit and rest. Yeah. So the dental pick, I'm just gonna run it in there, break off the edges. There you go. So let's see if there's any residue wet in there. Yeah. So the laser can't get past that blackout of the window. That's the problem. Which then makes me wonder what kind of glue these hobby companies are using, because I mean, if I just used a laser and it wouldn't set, they're using something that probably dries via air and not the UV. Alright, well, I'm going to have to go to crazy glue then. And that's a very risky maneuver. But first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to sand down these edges and make it smaller, width-wise at least. Or scissors. Which leads to the next product, the Dspiae non-fogging instant whatever CA glue is. Says here is for plastics, metal, leather, wood, rubber, electronic products. 20 grams again. Legal use stuff again. Same stuff there. And this here, yeah. Tighten the cap to keep it from drying. High temperatures are bad. Keep it cool in a cool, dry place. Nice fancy box again. We also have the fancy thin applicator tips, 3 of them, so that's good. And this is a round bottle and nothing else, but there is branding of the Dspiae here. Let's see what this regular nozzle looks like. It is already open, by the way. There's no seal. So one thing that I've noticed just using generic crazy glue is the fogging. You know, I put a bunch on there, I stuck it on this packaging plastic, and then it fogs the clear plastic. So that's a prime example. Another one, here's a little Mario figure, same thing, very foggy. So let's try it on this little up character. Just gonna put a big, well, maybe that's too much. Let's try to spread some over here. Alright, big messy puddle, so in theory it should fog up. Right, that puddle is definitely sealed in there. His feet are not even. Alright, so that's as good as I'm going to get it. At least that foot's pretty well on there. We'll have to come back to that and see if it's fogged up or not. Another test is to just take 2 pieces of clear plastic, put a puddle on it, and let's see if they fog up in between the two. Right. So we'll come back to that. Boy, so back to this thing. You know, I'm going to cut another piece of packaging plastic. Alright. I think the nozzles are too big for this little thing. So I'm just going to take my little dental pick, put a little dot right on the top of the middle, and I already sanded down the window a little bit. So hopefully it will work. Oh boy, I put some on the body. Alright, let's see if I can get this past that wet area. Well, I guess that window is actually there, but I probably could have sanded it off a little bit more. Alright, so that window, it is fixed. It's only glued at the top edge where it was bowing out. Yeah, I could have sanded off a tiny bit more there if I wanted the window to sit truly flush. But can you really see it? Maybe you can't. It could just be me. I just accidentally knocked this wing up and off. Oh boy, this is even more difficult. The goal is to try to get a dot in each of these things. That's too much glue. Amazingly, I actually did that. Well, those struts are not landing home. I think I got some of those struts in. Whew. So that's why these resin mounts cost so much. It's so difficult. And one of those struts already fell off. Yeah. The thing is, I don't know where it went. Here it is. It's so small. So dab each end. And pray I can get this in there. So, alright, I don't ever want want to touch this model again because that was so delicate. Alright, well, I may have messed it up a tiny bit, you know, the streaking off some paint there. But it's a lot better than it looked, obviously. So this glue, if you're careful, it seems to work. Whether or not this is anti-fogging is a whole different question. You know, look, it's fogging between those two pieces. And then this puddle, you can clearly see the vapor just, you know, fogging that plastic there. Yep, same there. And so I don't think this is a low fog crazy glue. Non-fogging instant CA, that's, I think, maybe it's just chemically impossible for that to actually happen, right? So if you're going to put little chips on your figures, I very often just use poster board putty. At least this Yuhu Puttifix Pro. Sure, it's not as, you can see a little bit sticking out, but you can just peel this off and, you know, it won't ruin the figure. But clearly, this is ruining the figure, because this is a bunch of glue stuck to the bottom of it now. But these figures aren't that expensive, so I'm not too worried about it. But just thought I'd throw that out there in case you want to preserve your figures. Alright, let's get this out of the way. Seems as though neither of these are as good as one would have as I hoped. I mean, now I have a bunch of instant crazy glue. But this was far more expensive than generic crazy glue, and it seems to do the same thing. And then, yeah, unfortunately, this is not serving the purpose that I wanted to use it for. For maybe Gundam kits, it might be perfectly fine, but the UV laser couldn't get past the black paint. That's not really the fault of the glue, by the way. It's just the fault of what I'm trying to use it for. There is one other thing I guess I should introduce, and that is the coagulation accelerator. So that is meant to make this crazy glue coagulate even faster. So let's try it now. So here's a little chip, same old general stuff, nice fancy packaging. Speed up the setting of colored gap filling CA. Oh, this is for gap stuff, which is a different video that's going to come. You know what? Maybe we'll try it anyways. I'm going to have to put this back in the box for the other video. BPA coagulation accelerator. I mean, CA is CA, right? So let's see. If I dab, I don't know if I should shake that up. Try to make some difference. There. Just put it literally on top of it. Well, that's interesting. It actually made that pool to 2 bubbles. So let's see the pick now. That's still not hardened. This hardened a little bit. It's still a little soft. I mean, I guess it did speed up the process. Maybe it is really only for colored stuff. So, yeah. I bought some colored stuff, but that's going to be a different video. So I'm going to put this back, and you'll see that again in the other review. Okay, guys. Well, you saw what I tried to do with this stuff. May work for other applications. It is definitely nice packaging. I do feel like this will be good for other things for sure. You know, I'm not let down by this at all because I'm going to use it for other things where the light can get to it. This, unfortunately, that non-fogging stuff is a lie. It's simply not true. It clearly fogs. So the nice thing about it is that bottle itself. There's a little metal tip in there that hopefully will keep that from getting messed up. I'll have to see long term, you know. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you in the next hobby-related tools video.